Hey, thanks for checking out the video. If you all like it, please like and subscribe, and hope you all enjoy it. Have a great rest of the day. Doing a demo on cutting wood.
So right there, I'm gonna let y'all in on a little trade secret. Slide this up a little bit. We're cutting through a pre-cut. Don't tell anybody. And you see, we're still not making super fast progress. This is the most efficient, would have been the most efficient tool of the day for doing this job, and it's still nowhere near a modern day sawmill. Ever seen a sawmill in action these days?
Yeah.
I saw a YouTube video, so I guess that counts.
Yeah, it counts. Yeah, they're feeding boards through and just pushing through, constant pressure, right? With this thing, you're going half as fast, quarter as fast, and the faster you do it, the less boards you're going to get done at the end of the day because you're going to be exhausted, so you really got to pace yourself. So what we do to really do ourselves a favor here is you can see little white marks on the saw all the way down. We lubricate the blade to make sure it doesn't get stuck in the wood. Now, if you think about most lubricants, you're thinking these days, WD-40. Kerosene was something they would use back in the day for lubricating stuff, but I think y'all are all pretty smart enough to know that you don't want kerosene all over your boards when you're building a porch building, right? So what we do here is we rub it down with soap. And like I was going back to the community, you'd have somebody in the village, they'd have goats, they'd be milking their goats, and you take the goat milk, you render down the fat, you make lye soap, and then we'd want to trade boards for lye soap, and then you soap up the blade, so you got nice, good, clean smelling wood chips falling on you all day, and you got boards that are not soaked in kerosene, so it's much less flammable. That'd be a common solution for that flammability issue of lubricant.
That makes sense.
Let's do a couple more licks here, Ricky.
My question is, whose job is harder? You, because you have to pull up on it, or him, because he's got wood shavings falling in his face?
Well, that is the great debate of this job. Because down there, he's doing all the cutting. You can see the teeth on the saw. They're all pointing downwards. Which means that when I pull up, I'm not taking any wood away.
Okay.
It's all the cutting's happening on the downstroke. So he's doing all the cutting, but he's got gravity helping him. He's also getting covered in sawdust. I'm picking up the saw, working against gravity, not pulling against the board, and it all depends on what you prefer. If you're one of those high effort, low skill people, you'd be happier down there. Because the person up here has to be paying attention all day, because it's my responsibility to make sure this board comes out straight. If we get to the end of the board and it looks like this, that's my fault, and that's my fault that that's going on the fire instead of going to a porch.
Or you're going to sell it to Lowe's.
Yeah. Sure enough. So yeah, more mentally exhausting up here. Not rocket science, but down there definitely be a little tougher, pulling the saw down against the board all day, and down there you're not getting as much airflow. A lot of times they build these over by a lake. They knock out one wall, so you only have 3 walls, an open wall to the lake, so the breeze can come off the lake, cool them off a little bit. Because don't know if you've ever rolled in sawdust when you're all sweaty, but it stays with you.
Sometimes the guy in the pit would have a big straw hat on. Sometimes they actually made a straw hat that would actually loop down and cover up the whole backside of it, so you ain't getting it.
Are you getting so much sawdust on
Yeah.
it? Huh, that's interesting.
Especially if you're only bathing once a week, you know.
Yeah.
So what time period would this have been in?
So this right here, this saw is supposed to be representative of 19th century, so
Okay.
early 1800s to late 1800s. But really, until you had the advent of the modern sawmill,
Okay.
you'd be using this. There are actually still places in the world that use a pit saw. I was talking to a gentleman this morning who is in the furniture business. He said he had a shipment of lumber come in from South America, and it had been pit sawed. He said kind of bit him in these days because we've got tolerance, and so he had a 1/2 inch board on one side and a 3/4 inch board on the other side. So he had to pay to get that sent to a sawmill here to get shaved down. But yeah, they're still using it in different parts of the world where they don't have as much information and technology.
Okay.